there. We're going to look at the development of a research proposal and its various sections. Because it's a long process, we won't be able to do all the sections with much detail that we would have loved to. I think Sybert is going to organize another section and session where we are going to look at some of the other aspects that might be important for a proposal. But again, let me say that even if you don't get what you're doing here, you're also free to come to our office for assistance. We'll see how we can help you. Let me just start sharing my screen. I hope that you will be. I hope we can all see it. Can I get a hands up or something to show me?
No, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, fantastic. Now, a research proposal is one of the most important parts of the research in your research journey. It's a research proposal that is done well. You can't.
No.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Oh, so I think I'm going to call Sybert to come and help me. No, don't worry. I think you still can't see something?
Yes, it is now.
Yes, it's visible now.
Oh, fantastic.
Visible.
Oh, fantastic. So I was saying that if there's anything that is very, very important in any research, is your research proposal. Your supervisor will know that this student knows what he or she is doing. The research committee can easily tell that this student is likely to be successful or not by merely looking at your proposal. Because it's such an important document. And I think, from my view, as you have pointed out, that one of the most important part of it is the research problem, which needs to be well articulated. But we don't start with the research problem statement. Although I encourage my students to start with the research problem even before deciding on the title. Because in many cases, you are not familiar with the literature, you are not familiar with the terminology that is used in your field for you to be able to conceptualize and formulate an effective research topic or title. So perhaps it's the best thing for you to, first of all, do a thorough literature review before you do the problem statement and the title. So let's start. The first thing that comes first, not the first thing to be done, the first thing that comes in a research proposal is a short descriptive title. Some call it a working title, some call it a proposed title, and some might call it a tentative title. I don't know what you call it. I might have wanted to ask you what you call it. Now, what does it do? This this defines the problem to be investigated. So it's a summary of some sort in one sentence of your problem statement. That's why I was saying it can be difficult for you to come up with a proper title before doing the problem statement, because it needs to define to some extent, not in detail, to some extent, the problem under investigation. And when you're doing this, you need to avoid generalization, abstraction, or vague metaphors. You need to be concrete and specific, even being exact. The title only where it's strictly necessary. That's when you put a subtitle. You know, the subtitle is that when you put a colon, then you put a subtitle. You can only do that when it's really necessary. And some disciplines may not be interested in that. I think that's one important thing that I need to highlight before we proceed. Here, many of us are coming from different fields, and the research proposals, the structure, and how it is outlined is not always the same. But what you're going to deal with are what is common across the proposals. Then you need to avoid academic cliches like analysis of and investigation of, things like that. As much as possible, you need to refrain from using that. You can only do that after reading quite enough. And you must remember that the title must direct potential researcher to your topic. Then it should clearly reflect the main theme. If you are researching absenteeism, that word absenteeism must appear somehow in your title. The main theme, issue or position discussed in the in your title. It should accurately reflect the nature and focus of the study and not create false expectations. So you need to answer a few questions if you are to come up with a title. Number one, what will be researched? How will it be researched? With whom? When you're saying with whom, you're saying the population that you'll be researching. When you talk about the population, in some disciplines, we're not talking about human beings. I think those who are not from, well, those who are from physical sciences, natural sciences might know what I'm talking about. We're not just talking about people. So with whom? And there's a formula that Grobler gave in terms of a research title. Grobler says that you must structure that in such a way that you have a theme, a research design, population, and geographic area. Geographic area is where you are doing the study. Examples of such topics are, the first one is an example of a title that speaks to that formula that Grobler gives. Value profiles and susceptibility to interpersonal influence, a survey of student smokers at the University of Pretoria. That topic gives all the ingredients that Grobler 2003 gives. Another example that conforms with that formula or method is this title, Consumer Trade-offs in Jewelry Purchases, a conjoint analysis among female mobile buyers in Gauteng. That's another example. Let me see if I've got another example that is value profiles. I think I'm repeating that. Yes, I'm repeating. Yes, that's a repetition. Okay. Now, in some cases, it is not always possible to give such titles with geographical area and everything because of the word count. Some discipline might tell you that we don't need so many words, so it might limit what you want to do. There are cases where you exclude certain parts of the title, like if you see the three examples that I'm giving right now: color and shopping intentions, an experimental examination of the intervening effect of price fairness and perceived affect. You see that one doesn't have geographical area. Then the next one is the portrayal of pre-adolescent children in South African television commercials, a content analysis. It doesn't give a specific area, but you might think you're looking at South Africa as a country. Then the last one is culture and parental communication style as moderators of children's influence on family purchases, a survey-based investigation. This is another way of putting across this. but you must always confirm with your discipline-specific requirements. This is just a generic way of trying to look at a title. Before I give you an activity, I want you to reflect on this based on the title that you already have. I assume that most of you, if not all of you, already have titles. How does this presentation on titles align with your current title? It doesn't mean, if it doesn't align, it doesn't mean that your title is wrong. I just want you to reflect on how it tallies or aligns with your title. There's an activity that I want you to do. I've got 3 to analyze this based your own title and the formula that I've given for a research title. So what I want you to do, I want you to take a picture of this formula here with these 3 aspects. Take a screenshot of that. Then I want you to analyze this title based on the formula and your own title. And you do that in small groups of 5 that were created. I'll give you 6 minutes to get into your groups and discuss that, and allow one person to come and report back to us. Asip, if you can give us the groups.
Can you please go back to the, oh God.
To the formula.
Yes, please, sir.
Yes, Prof.
This one.
Yes, Prof, thank you.
Yes, you get it. Have you taken the screenshot? Okay. If you have taken the screenshot, now go to the activity. Take a screenshot of this again, because you're going to take it to your groups. Asip, are the groups ready?
People have started joining in. So people will see they have an option to join in. Please start joining in.
There are a few people in the room. Can you please join your groups? Few people in the room, can you join your groups?
Zama, please mute your mic. Zama, please.
Okay, I think the 3 minutes, the 6 minutes is over. Now let's get back to the main room. Are we all back?
Prof, would you mind putting your screen in presenter mode or presentation mode?
Sorry?
The presentation is currently in presenter mode. Could you put it into
What is presenter mode?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I think. Oh God.
It seems so you're seeing the reverse, eh?
Yeah. We're seeing the next slide and
What
And
you can possibly try is unshare and reshare.
Okay. Let me ask Sybert to assist me. Am I sharing now?
not sharing.
Sharing. Mhm. What is it like now?
It's in presenter view.
Oh. So let's no there, which is not good. That's what they're saying is they want it to be.
There's an option on the top left where it says swap displays. That might be helpful.
Top left.
Top left above the screen. Yeah, there. Try that. There we go.
How is it now?
That's perfect for us.
That's perfect.
Oh, how now? Okay, no problem. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for that. Technology times are off. So let's go back. Let's hear from group one. What did you see from group one? Who was in group one?
To be honest, I can't remember what our group number was.
Okay, just give us what you found. Don't worry about the groups.
I think we had consensus that in our group that active or point number one or title number one best fit or does fit the Grobler model very well.
Okay. Oh, why do you say that?
we said in terms of the research design, it's very clear that there is going to be a model being developed. It's clear in terms of the demographic that it's looking at, and also the geographic location, which is the Eastern Cape.
Okay. Okay, thank you. And the second title?
We're in the same group. I think it was group 8. The second one, we thought it had that academic jargon that was suggested that we should avoid, that exploring performance. Perhaps it needs to be tweaked. Maybe some titles we've seen could be like an exploration of perhaps a service delivery, etc., etc. But then in terms of the population, the who is is being interviewed or researched on, it is clear the Makanda municipalities, which is also 2-in-1 in the sense that it's also geographical, or maybe that's also questionable. I'm not sure, but we just thought it needs to be tweaked, especially with that exploring as the being the keyword.
Okay, makes sense. Mahotso?
Thank you, Prof. Can I please ask a question? Because I wanted to ask if exploring doesn't refer to it being part of the research design, because as we have like different methods that encourages you to explore. So for me, I thought that part of exploring would sort of fall under the research design part of the formula. So now, like, I'm a bit confused now when they said, like, those are like it's something that shouldn't be there. And then another question that I had before we move, I didn't get the first one, like, what research design would it be? Because for me, I said there's no research design. The main theme is there, the population is there, and the geographical area is there. But I didn't get the research, what kind of research design is there? Yes.
Absolutely correct. That's correct, Marcos. The research design is up there. Anyone else?
Yes, I think that number 3, the impact of employees' motivation and manager perception on organizational performance, a case study of Gauteng Municipality at Skills Development Unit. It encompasses the general area that's going to be studied, which is in Gauteng. It also says that it's a case study and that it will be looking at the impact of the employees' motivation and manager perception. So it kind of just puts everything in one. Yeah, I think that's like a good title.
That's a good title. Okay. Oh, any other views on these titles from your groups? Thanks so much for colleagues.
Okay, for me.
Just hold on. There's somebody whose microphone is on and giving feedback.
Oh, it's me, Nomsa. With the topic number 2, I was under the impression that when you're exploring, it falls under qualitative design. So I was thinking that maybe it's there, the design is there if you know what you are doing, like, yeah, because with exploring, you're exploring for quantitative because you don't know. And also if you're investigating, it's for quantitative. I'm not sure whether I'm correct, but that's what I understand.
Well, there is, you are suggesting that when it's exploring, it's qualitative. When it's investigating, it's quantitative.
Yes.
Thank you, that's Magdalena. Any view on that, on Magdalena's view?
Yes, Prof.
Yes, Wanda.
I'm sorry, I'm on two gadgets here. This other one is giving me a problem. But I thought in the first one, it meets all the requirements here.
Mm-hmm.
The main theme, which is the gender inequality.
Can you just mute the other?
And then we have
mute the other gadget.
Design, which is a case study. Why am I saying case study? But they're giving us a model, developing model in the geographical area is clearly stated there. I also think in the second one, exploring gives us an idea of a qualitative design. So I think the design is there, and it also does meet the requirements as stated in the methods that you gave us then. And the last one, I think it lacks on the design, but there is a population and geographical areas there. I think the main thing is there as well. It's only the design that is missing. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I think you are all correct. The thing is, we're coming from different disciplines, and how we perceive things. I underscored this at the beginning that we are different. But it doesn't mean that whenever a study is an investigative study, it has to be quantitative. You may investigate qualitative information, so it's still fine. And I wanted to notice something on title number 1. There's something that is slightly wrong. I don't know whether you have picked it. Anyone?
Developing a model, it's not clear whether it's of addressing gender inequality. It's not clearly stated.
Developing a model addressing gender inequality and empowerment within minimum. Okay, Mahotso, you want to come back?
Yes, Prof, thank you. With the first one, why do I have echo? Okay, with the first one, I said, it doesn't have, like, given using the formula that you gave us, it doesn't have the research design. The geographical area is there, and I think the public development within the minibus industry, I'll take that as the population, and then the main theme is around, like, addressing gender equality. But I wasn't quite sure if the development of the model would be taken as a research design. I haven't seen, with what I've read so far, I haven't seen the development of a model being the design, like the research design. Could I stand corrected?
I think you're right. It's not a research design. But at the same time, I want to emphasize that not all titles do have designs. You must be careful with that. What I'm emphasizing is that using such a formula will give you not a perfect, but it will give you an assurance that my title speaks to what I want to study. And it also directs the readers directly where they want to be. So it must speak to that. The other thing that I want to talk about is this full stop. You don't put a full stop in a title. It's the only title that had a full stop. So you should not put a full stop. Okay. Now let's go on to the next. I don't know where we are now. That was activity. Oh, okay. Now the next part, once you have given the title, you need to speak to the background information that informs your title. What is it? What is why are we here? So in order to do that, you need to give a brief overview of the research title. What is its history and the context related to your title? What key concepts and theories or even frameworks relevant to this title? This is done in brief, not too much. Then you need to give current trends or developments in the field that are related to your title. I've put one sentence here, but it's not always one sentence. It's not even one sentence. It's paragraph or paragraphs that you're going to put in order to give a background to what you're doing. An example of what it constitutes is climate change is emerged as a critical global issue, with coastal ecosystem being particularly vulnerable due to rising sea levels and weather events. This is an interesting sentence to start with. What you then need to do is to give evidence to support that sentence, because it's a claim that is hanging. So your background information will give us that kind of evidence of what you're trying to do. So this is one of the most important part. Again, as the reader goes through your proposal, you have given a background, you have given the historical context, the trends, current trends, all that they are quite useful in terms of giving the readers a direction in terms of where you're going. Then further than that, you need to contextualize the research within the existing body of knowledge. You are not trying to create something that is completely new. You are extending the frontiers of knowledge. And if you're extending something, we need to know what is there that you're extending. You're not just starting from scratch. So there must be a clear articulation of the existing knowledge that you're trying to extend and how you want to extend it. Later on, we're going to talk about why you might want to extend it. So it gives the problems and issues more broadly framed in philosophical and social terms. It gives the context of the general questions in a larger context. It gives evidence of a larger social philosophical significance of the project, and not just social philosophical, but also practical. It is a test of whether the proposal is imagination or not. Is it something that is well thought of, or is something that one person who just wants a degree is doing, or is somebody who wants to seek knowledge? Further than that, the contextualization of research should give a summary of key studies, theories of models related to the topic. You must identify major findings and contributions in the field. You have to discuss how the proposed research fits or builds upon existing knowledge. So it's not hanging in the air. So while numerous studies have examined global climate change, regional studies, particularly in the Gulf of Mexico, remain limited. You are already positioning yourself to start something. That sentence on the example already gives you a hint in terms of what the researcher wants to do. Can anyone attempt to give us what the researcher might want to do if they give such a sentence? There's no wrong or correct answer. I'm just curious to say, if somebody gives, what does this person want to do?
Just to identify the gap.
Sorry?
To identify the gap that is still there.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. What gap is there that he wants or she wants to fill?
Or to show that even though there's still what is limited while ministers of That's
I didn't
the
get
to
you.
examine global climate change impacts. That it is still limited because it's not exhausted.
Okay, you're
So
right.
they want to examine the global climate change impacts in the Gulf of Mexico as a region because it's
Absolutely.
limited. So they've identified the gap there by looking at the literature and then going, oh, okay, cool. So this is missing and this is what they want to do. So they've set it up quite nicely. Like, this is what I'm going to do because it's limited.
Myself, hello?
Absolutely. Thanks, Larry. I think that's very correct. Already they've shown that they want to do something, and not just something in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, that's very important, what Larry said, pointed out there, because that is going to inform your title, or it's informed by your title. It's going to inform the problem statement. It's also going to inform the research questions. There must be a link in all those things. So as I'm reading your proposal, I need to see that link. I think Mahosa's hand was up and other people. Magdalena's hand was up as well. And Virginia.
No, I already mentioned what I wanted to say. Sorry, that the limited what, okay.
Mahosa, your hand was up.
Yes, Prof. I was gonna say the same thing as what the previous speaker said.
Thank you so much. So, as you can see here, this is where the gap is, and that statement will guide you in terms of your literature, in terms of your case study, where you want to have it. It is already given. Now, I want you again to, if possible, somebody who has breakout rooms. So can you get your rooms, and I'm not sure whether there's a background that I've given, but perhaps let me close the rooms for now. There's a background that I've given. I want you to tell me how you see this background fitting what we want to achieve. I want to take screenshots. I don't know how to get to, I've got two screens. I don't know how to get to the other. Okay, so there is a background there. Can you take a screenshot of that? While you are taking a screenshot, can you hear Electra?
Yes, Prof. About the breakout rooms, how many minutes do we have? I think last time we were not sure, so we kind of ran out of time.
Oh, you ran out of time. I'll give you 10 minutes for this one.
Okay. No, that's fine. Okay. Thank you.
Because it's a bit long to have you need about 3 minutes to read.
Hello, Prof.
So have you taken, yes, go ahead.
Yeah, the previous breakup room, I was just alone. Others, they just joined, but they are not there. I was just alone. I don't know.
Okay.
How that can be fixed.
Okay, I'll check now. Okay, no problem. We'll try to check that. So have you taken a screenshot of this?
I saw that there was a spot where you can change to another breakout room. So if that happens, maybe just change to a different room.
That would be great as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
So take a screenshot of that. Take a screenshot of this again. There are two of them. Okay. Now, with those screenshots, I want you to discuss how these, the two sections on background meet the requirements that we have just discussed and how they align with the given titles. Do they tell us an indication of what the person wants to do? Do they give us some of the studies that have investigated the issues under investigation. So now you can go to your rooms. 10 minutes starting from now. So we'll be back in 10 minutes by 7 past. Let's go to our rooms. There are some colleagues here. Can you please go to your rooms?
Okay. What time are you back, Prof?
I'll call you, but it's in 10 minutes time.
Okay, Prof.
Yes.
God, we're back.
We're back. Fantastic. Thanks so much for coming. And now let's take it from the beginning. How did you see the two sections of proposals that we're talking about the background to the research? Let's start with Jessica. Is Jessica in the room? Okay. Anyone wants to start? Jessica is not ready. Yes, Adele?
Hi, in our group, we felt that the one that's currently on the screen read so nicely. We've got a nice picture of, there's some academics, there's the situation, what it's about, as well as the unit that they want to do the researching, where the gap is and what they're going to focus on. It's just so made us, we felt this was nice and comprehensive, whereas the other one, and we felt we could speak better by comparing the two. And the second one, there's a bunch of loose sentences. First of all, the writing, the language and writing doesn't flow well, and it keeps saying this study. But it is a very disjointed bunch of facts or things the person wants to say. It doesn't leave us with a nice comprehensive picture in our head of this is where we're starting and where we're going. That was our approach. We looked at the two against each other.
Thank you, Adele. It's quite useful. Robin?
Hi, thanks, Prof. We actually in group 8 who were quite vocal last time, and I'm speaking for a lot of intelligent people, not just myself here, but we thought that both of the backgrounds were not fantastic. We thought that they spent too much.
Both of them?
Both of them. We thought that they both spent too much time kind of beating around many bushes to arrive at the conclusion of the gap at the end, and in a way kind of wasted a lot of words by getting there. We thought that they were not based enough on previous studies, and so it was difficult to grasp how they were fully contextualized within the grander literature that's available. The one on the screen currently, we thought that the kind of the main part of the paragraph came towards the end. The study period will allow the researcher to determine blah blah blah. All of that sounds really good, and it talks about why the study is conducted at a specific time. So all of that information is relevant and useful, but it felt like perhaps it took a long time to get there. And then the second excerpt on the next page, it felt like that was kind of too based almost in historical context, which we acknowledging is really important. I personally did not actually enjoy the way that it was written. I thought it was too fragmented. Although it does try to link ideas together, there's still not enough of a link to relevant and key research that's come before the study. So we were critical of both of the excerpts.
Thank you. Nice observations. I agree with you. But where is the gap? Can I go back to Adele? Is Adele still around? Adele?
Yes, I am.
So did you identify the gap in these backgrounds?
I don't think we got to discuss it in so much detail. There was a gap mentioned in the one on the screen, but the other one not really. So I don't think as much of a gap, and the previous speaker's input was really good. there was definitely a lot of thought gone into it. And as she was talking, I felt, yeah, no, I see what she's saying, and I see it. So I guess that's why we're here. Hey.
And you agree?
I think she
Okay.
spoke well about them, and that they're not perfect, but definitely this one is way better than the other one about the taxi industry. You have no idea. It's just can't figure out what's going on. And I think the purpose of this is so that we can see the level to which we must give lead up to where we're coming. And I hear what the previous speaker said, that there's only the gap itself is only addressed in one sentence at the bottom. So all the information is sort of gives us information about the situation, but not really a background for the study itself.
Okay. Usually, thanks so much for that. Usually, you don't even need to say this is the gap. That word gap, in academic writing, some people write it, but it's not very necessary. But we must see the gap. If you look at the, where did you get the? I recognize you. Okay. Okay. Do you see that example there? Do you see the word gap? It's not there, but you can tell that there is a gap. It says, while numerous studies have examined global climate change impacts, regional studies, particularly in the Gulf of Mexico, remain limited. That's a gap. It's very unnecessary to say the gap doesn't sound very academic. Okay, Mahoso wants to help us with that.
Thank you, Prof. I think I'm going to refer to the other one.
Which one?
The second, correct, yes. Let me just open. Yes. So what I've identified with this is, I think there's a bit of a geographical mismatch. And then I also couldn't understand, like, that the researcher didn't really give reasons or justify why the KZN findings are relevant to the Eastern Cape, as the researcher has mentioned in the title. So I think that's what I picked up. And then, yeah.
You're muted.
Oh yeah, I think that's what I picked up. I'm done.
Thank you so much. So what we've done here, we have discussed how important it is to give a clear and succinct background in terms of what you want to do. Now, the next part we want to look at it is now the problem. The research problem, statement of the research problem or gap in the literature. This is very important. I think you have highlighted it as the most important. I normally have workshops where I spend 6 hours of just looking at a research problem statement in a comprehensive and academic way. Before I look into that, let me just point out that there's usually a big issue with people who think that the research problem are the problems that people face or that are happening. The problems that people might talk about are not the research problem. Some people may say there's a lot of crime in Gauteng, many people are dying. Those are problems. They are not research problems. I'm not sure whether you can understand that. The crime, the people that those are problems, but not research problem. Cynthia wants to say something?
No, sorry, Prof.
Oh, it's okay. So here you are trying to articulate a problem and showing why it is a problem. So there's a clear articulation of the specific problem or gap the research intends to address. It's an explanation of why this problem is significant. So it's not just a problem or that's a gap. Why is that gap? We talked about, let me go back to the Gulf of Mexico. This one talks about, while there are numerous studies around the impacts of climate change, there is limited research of this in Gulf of Mexico. Yes, there is limited research, but why is that a problem? I hope you get what I'm saying. Yes, there's limited research, but why is that a problem? Why should we worry about it? So the problem statement needs to give that, explain why this problem is significant. Evidence of gap, e.g. lack of regional data that we just talked about, conflicting findings in studies can be examples. Just a good example here, there is lack of comprehensive data on how rising sea levels specifically affect coastal biodiversity in the Gulf of Mexico. Do you see the extension of the previous sentence with this one? Creating a critical gap in regional conservation strategy. So it's not just a lack of gap, but it also the inability to come up with effective regional conservation strategy because of a lack of information around that. Many people believe that there is a gap in literature, there is no research about, so what? Why is that important? This writer here is telling us that the lack of data on how rising sea level affect coastal biodiversity affects the strategies of conservation, which is very important. And there are many ways. It's not just lack of data that we can bring up as problems, as research problems. There are various angles to which we can approach this thing. I've listed about 15. There could be more. In some cases, the methodological limitations of previous studies to say, no, these studies that are available are only using qualitative methods, and yet quantitative data can actually give us an idea of how many people are affected by this and to what extent, what is the cost, financial cost of this problem. It can be population restrictions in terms of not population as in people, but population of the subjects under study. In some cases, it could be contradictory findings from different studies. You are studying the same thing about the Gulf of Mexico, but this study comes up with this, the other one comes up with this one, but you're studying the same thing. Then that in itself is a research gap. You might want to confirm what's happening here. In some cases, the theoretical fragmentation, where lack of theoretical integration with studies using different frameworks that don't connect or build cumulative knowledge. In other cases, limited scope of studies. Maybe a study that just focuses on Eastern Cape that tries to explain what is happening in South Africa based on what is happening in Eastern Cape could be limited in scope. And the ability of researchers to generalize such findings to the whole country can be seen to be flawed. Some short-term cause, some are correlational rather than causal studies. To say, some studies can simply show that there is a relationship between high temperatures, and the cells of ice cream. Whenever the temperature is high, there seems to be an increase in the ice cream cells. Is it just correlation, or is there a causal relationship? What is causing the ice cream cells to go high? So you might want to look at that. In some cases, it's limited contradictory integration, absence of replication, measurement issue, publication bias, especially for studies that are done and sponsored by private companies or organizations. Limited applicability. In some cases, ethical consideration to say, no, you couldn't go further than that because ethics-wise, that is not permissible. So those are some of the issues that can be discussed under problem statement. Unfortunately, by the way, the proposals I'm using are real proposals that were submitted by students. I'll give you again one more problem statement. Can you take a screenshot of that? I hope you have done so. And again, take a screenshot of the next one. Okay. Those two. So what I want you to do again is to get your rooms. I'll give you, let me check my time here. I'll give you just 5 minutes to quickly look at those problem statements to see if they are up to the standards of a postgraduate proposal problem statement. They are still based on the studies that you were looking at the titles. Can you quickly get into your rooms? We don't have much time.
Yes, that's true. And also there is no identification of the gap or the
Oh,
Okay, let's start. Who's going to be the first to give us an analysis of the two problem statements? You can just speak, unmute yourself and speak. Who is going to start? Is it David? David Judge? Who's
I don't
coming
want to
first?
say anything because
Okay.
you mentioned that these were actual proposals submitted to the university. So now I feel really bad about being critical of them because what if the person's in the room with us at the moment?
No, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. They were submitted about many years, over 10 years ago. So they were corrected. They are no longer like this. They are not under review. Thanks for that. Larry, go ahead.
So in terms of the other one, I think the same issues that came with the original background context is that it isn't, sorry, I just want to go back to my notes here, that it isn't really highlighting what the actual problem is. This seems to be giving the context. So it says, okay, these two, Klope and Ismailova et al. Agree with each other. And then Ondita and Odera also agree with them. But there's no actual problem. So they're, again, just giving context in terms of previous studies, but they're not saying how that relates to their research or what the actual problem or, again, gap is. Or how that even relates back to the minibus taxi industry in the Eastern Cape.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks so much for that. Did you look at the self-deliver one?
I did. So in terms of statement of the problem, they are talking about divergent historical trajectories, which produce a challenge in understanding how institutional environments shape governance and service delivery, which goes back to the main theme, the main focus of their research, which is service delivery in Makanda and the Greater Kokstad local municipalities. So they provide context, they explain what the issue is, and then go directly into what the actual problem is that they will be looking at. So despite policy reforms aimed at improving performance and accountabilities, municipalities in rural areas face distinct constraints, I mean, in comparison to like large cities, which we know is a thing. And again, this one does a much better job at actually outlining what the problem, the meat of the problem is. So again,
do you
it's
see-
not that it says it is, here is the gap, here is what I'm solving. They're not explicitly saying that, but there are, the implication is that these two local municipalities, rural municipalities, do face different challenges. I'm assuming that the person is then going to go into those challenges.
Prof. Hi,
Okay,
Prof.
Yes, Simpiwe?
Also, just the one that I'm picking up on this one that is here on the screen, the title is on Makanda and the Greater Kokstad, but the arguments are in another different municipality, which is the Winnie-Madikizela municipality. So that's the other gap now. There is no focus.
Okay. No, that's you're quite correct. Okay, I wanted to give you a feel of what it is like. If the mistakes that are there, I'm the one who made the mistakes. I wanted to see if whether you'll be able to pick. They are not actually real case studies, although they are based on some research. That's where you see, it's talking about Makanda, it's talking about Great Kokstad, Madikizela, the same thing. There is no consistency. I put that there so that we can pick that. And it's something that we often see when you are reviewing proposals. I think in the interest of time, we are already past our time. I will stop here, but I will share the slides with you. I'm not. Yes, David. Okay. I don't know what she or he is saying. I think it sounds like a female voice, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think that's David. Anyway, so that's it. If we had gone further, I wanted to look at the research questions. So these are questions essential for the study, and they are connected to the problem solving. They should display a logical order in the subparts of the research topic that we discussed at first. Questions should be informed in terms of the research design and analysis of data to be avoided. Avoid fishing approaches to research, collecting material, applying a number of techniques like that. You can also talk about the hypothesis which is employed mainly in quantitative studies. Key questions determine and anticipate the theoretical framework to be used. Now, let's land there and pick it up from there next time. But before we end, I'll invite questions and comments.
Thank you very much, Prof. My name is Andy Swan. I don't have a question as such, but I noticed that on the second one, the paragraph was too long on the second screenshot. And there's always a question that says, why is your sentences too long, more than 12 words? So that maybe might, I was wondering if it's acceptable, or how do you get away with it? Because I've had so many sentences cut. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, if a sentence is too long, you actually forget what the first word was before you get to the last word. So it's not readable. You're talking about readability here. You need to give your reader some chance or some space to breathe, not just go on and on like that. So it's something that you need to consider, but it's not something that your proposal can reject it based on that. In this analysis, we're not looking so much at paragraph construction, sentence construction, which is a thing and is a workshop that we can have just to focus on paragraph construction. How do you formulate a paragraph? You're talking about the topic sentence, supportive sentence, and ending with what is called a clincher. I didn't even look at those things here because you complicate things. it's better to look at one thing at a time rather than focusing. But I appreciate your observation. It's quite correct. It becomes tedious to read such work. Thanks, Nonwaba. Yes, sorry for that. Any other question or comment?
Yes, Prof, can I come in?
Yes, David Judge, now you are there. How come I was thinking that?
Yes, okay, I'm David. I would like to ask why there's no full stop at the title again. And the last
Sorry?
one, why we don't require to put a full stop on the title, on the title of the research. And
That's
last
a good
one,
question.
and last one, I would like to find out how this lesson is very much useful, and how are we going to get the record of this lesson?
It will be on our website. All the lessons we do are always on our website.
Because this one, the link to just share through our supervisors.
Oh, you didn't receive the email yourself.
No, I not receive email myself. I just get it from my supervisors.
Oh, can you do this? Let me check if Esetu is here. Esetu, are you here? Esetu? I think she has left. But what I wanted to say is that anyone who is here who doesn't receive our emails, please write to me and Asipe with your email and student number so that we can include you on our mailing list. You should be there, David.
Okay,
we
Prof.
should include you. Write me an email.
Okay, Prof.
You've got my email, isn't it?
Pardon?
You've got my email address.
Yes, obviously I'll get it from my supervisor.
Okay, that's great. Thanks so much, David.
What's the name again?
My name is Sybert.
Okay, thank you. I'll take up I will take it up with my supervisors, then so that I can able to get also the link and so forth.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry, I was working. I wasn't able to read the questions that were put in on the chat box. How long will this meeting last for? The meeting is supposed to last 1.5 hours. That was from Wanda. Okay, and Tiesetso, you've got your hand is up.
Thank you, Prof. I just wanted to ask a question on the structure, right? When we're going through the problem, the second problem statement was structured in bullet points, 2 bullet points. Is that okay, or is it supposed to be written in paragraph style? Should it be one paragraph? How long exactly is it supposed to be? Those kinds of structural issues or questions that might come up when it comes to the problem statement. Thank you.
I think that's a good question. It's not supposed to be in bullet points. It's supposed to be written in paragraph form. Then in terms of length, that is determined by your school and discipline. They are always different, so I wouldn't give you a specific length here. Like sciences might have their own length, education, humanities, pharmacy, and so forth. So in terms of length, that's why I was a bit skeptic to give you a template. Some will actually give you a template and a guideline in terms of how you can do it. I moved away from that, knowing that such guidelines are not the same. They are not uniform across. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Prof.
I'm sure you are responding to me. Thanks.
Sorry?
No, I think Prof, thanks because you were responding to me because I did write on the chat.
Okay, thank you. So colleagues, if there's anyone with a question, you can remain behind, but this session is officially over. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. going forward. But if you've got a question, I'm still here. I'll remain here for the next 1 minute, just in case one wants to ask anything. Yes, Tony?
Thank you so much, Prof. Not a question really, but I like what you said in the beginning about not coming up with a title of your study first. I think there are a lot of things that are considered before you even come up with the title. So I actually agree with that. I struggled from when I was doing my master's because I came up with a very nice sounding topic, but then to then find the problem statement, to then find things that make up that topic, I struggled and I ended up abandoning it. So it's very important to find the problem first, and then everything else should come from the problem. How you're going to solve it, who you're going to speak to, where you're going to do it. It is all related to that problem. So I think coming up with the problem first is the key. So thank you for mentioning that.
Absolutely. Thanks, Tony Tendai. Okay. In the absence of... Yes, go ahead.
Hello, it's Magdalena here. Okay, my struggle is where do I put my voice in a literature review? Because I will be I'll be citing this one and this and this one. How do I infiltrate my voice there within those?
That's a good question. Well, we call it author voice. First of all, did you attend the critical reading session?
No, I just got the link today about this. I didn't know about it.
Oh, okay. Are you on our...
I don't think so, but I got a link from the colleague.
Okay, please write us emails if you are not on the mailing list, so that you can be involved in what we are offering here.
On the chat.
Sorry?
Should I write it here on the chat?
I'm not sure whether Asipa will be able to access it, but I think the best you can write to me or Asipa an email so that we can include you.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much.
There was someone who was asking about full stop on the title. Is that person still around?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay, okay. What is the answer? I didn't get it. I thought Tony was going to answer.
I did not get anything. I just heard people asking a lot of inquiries about something.
Okay. Okay, that's correct. Who would like to answer or attempt to answer David regarding the full stop on a title? Joy Joseph? Okay. David?
Yes, Prof.
What is the difference between a title and a sentence?
The title is just something which you are going to discuss about something, then it should be under a certain title. The sentence is something which you have to start with capital, the cap letters, then end with a full stop.
Yeah, exactly. A title is not a sentence, it's a title.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Now
so
I get it. I got it now.
Okay, good. Thanks for that.
Once more time, Prof. The thing is that since I joined this Rhodes University, I'm a PhD candidate. I'm even done with I'm PhD candidate.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
PhD.
Yeah, on my second year, I'm already done defending my proposal, but I find it difficult because there's no guideline on us on how to go, how to develop a proposal, what we need to include, or what not we need to include. We only encounter this when you are defending your proposal or after defending, when the reader or the reviewer come in, is now where you expect, okay, here I support to do this and that. And it's, first of myself, I really expressing the such a problem. I'm still not even going forward, although I'm almost at this stage. Because there's no clear guidelines.
Okay. Perhaps we needed a session such as this one. But all faculties have their own some research sessions that they have in terms of guiding their students. Perhaps you might have missed that. But if you've got any problem, please come to us or write to us. We'll be able to assist or even direct you where you can get assistance. But we always try to give such assistance.
Okay, Prof, thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so much. I've stayed for extra 10 minutes and I really appreciate it. If there are no burning questions, thanks so much. Have a great day going forward. Bye-bye.
Prof?
Yes?
I thought I will remain with you so that I can discuss my problem as well.
What is your problem? Okay, remain.
Okay, thanks.
Remain. I'll give you 1 minute because I need to rush somewhere.
No, it's fine.
It seems some people will remain here because they are not even on the screen. Is it personal?
No, it's not personal, but I'm defending my structure of the thesis on Friday, which is the 21st. How I wish I could share it with you so that you guide me, because I'm a bit panicking now with the situation that I find myself in. So if I could get your private email, then I'll just share it with you so that maybe you can assist when you find time, either today or tomorrow.
Whoa, this week I'm it's a bit hectic, but write me an email. You can get my email on our website.
Okay, thanks. I'll do that. It's just on
Thanks so much,
PowerPoint. Okay, thanks, Prof.
Okay, no, okay.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Prof.
We really appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.